Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This customer today finally asking you calling. How are you?
No, better than some, worse than others.
I'm just calling in regards to an incident that happened earlier today. We got a report from somebody in the neighborhood there of a confrontation with you in regards to filming children.
It was with me. They know it was me. They got my first name and last name.
We got your information, so I'm just wondering I just want to know what's going on. If you can tell me your side of the story. That's the only reason I'm calling.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, nothing's really going on. Just me walking down the street and having people come out of their place trying to intimidate me.
And why were they trying to intimidate you?
That you'd have to ask them, because as far as I know, they're in the wrong. Right? Like, I'm simply walking down a sidewalk, and when they approached me, I was sitting there with my son talking about dirt bikes. And up comes this meathead trying to intimidate me, acting all huffy and puffy, claiming that I'm doing something I'm not. And I told him, well, you see, you're talking about a camera and me pointing them at people I shouldn't be. Well, it's funny because if I was doing that, it would be on my camera, right? So it's funny, when I leave my house, I hit record. And when I re-enter my house, I hit stop. So anything that happens outside of my four walls and anything that I get accused of doing, I can very easily put it to rest. Right? It keeps me honest, and I try to keep my neighbors honest, but as you can see, they have a real hard problem with being honest. They just can't deal with a guy sitting out on the street walking around with a camera. It's like, I should only be driving with a dash cam. I shouldn't be walking with a camera or something like I don't understand their rationality, right? Makes no sense to me.
Yeah, for sure. And my main concern though is, so you were with your son as well?
Yeah.
And is your son, you don't mind me asking, how old is your son?
16, he's a youth.
Okay. So have you been approached by these males in your neighborhood before?
No.
So this is the first time that you've been confronted by them?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Yeah, my main concern was just that they were concerned that you were filming children. I mean, I know that you, like you said, you film everything, so...
Yep. What I was doing, actually, when they saw me out there today, was I was looking for a discarded hypodermic needle, because I saw a package, but I didn't see no needle. And I know that there's about 8 to 12 kids that play in that area, so I should probably look for this needle. That's what I was doing, right? And I was sitting on that area when that gentleman walked up to us, because it's shady. And we had been out for about half an hour, and we've been looking for that needle for about 20 minutes. So I was like, I know the area pretty well where needles are kept, so I was going down the trail to look for the next spot where I figured it might have been, because I've been finding them in that area for the last 2 weeks. And that happened. And I was sitting there having a little rest, talking about whatever with my kid, and that guy comes up and starts accusing me of weird stuff.
So you were looking for this discarded needle. So did you find the packaging, like that plastic white packaging?
Yeah, I found the needle wasn't in there. Yeah, it was about in between 206 and no, not 206. I was on 206. So it's in between 66 and 67th. There's that little road that comes down. It goes into the Willoughby connector, and it comes up to 206. It was like right in front of there, right in front of the complex where these people live.
And if you were just sitting, that was when this was all happening?
Yeah, that was earlier today, yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, my main concern is that, I mean, with this male approaching you, I don't know, I didn't realize that you were just sitting at a bench.
Well, I wasn't at the bench today. I usually sit on that bench because I have a condition called ankylosing spondylitis. The degenerative...
Ankylosing spondylitis?
Ankylosing spondylitis. It's a degenerate form of spinal arthritis.
Okay.
So it's got me pretty fucked up, excuse my language, but, right, I use the benches in my area to my advantage, right? I got a dog so I could keep mobile, so I can keep my lower joints moving before they seize up. And when I'm out walking, I have to sit. So when I'm sitting, if I see something that piques my interest, like somebody speeding through my area and running the stop sign, well, heck, I'm going to videotape that.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of a neighborly thing to do. Hopefully we can get these people to stop speeding through our area. Right? But some people think I'm just being a weirdo. So...
You've seen somebody walk around with a camera on them at all times, and so...
I've been doing it for 4 years.
But I mean, I'm not a parent, so but I mean, if somebody was walking by a park and you saw somebody videotaping your children, not saying that you are, because it's just on you at all times.
Yeah, well, I'm a parent. I have 4 daughters, and I have a son. And where I live right now is called a strata complex. And I've actually called the RCMP about people filming my kids out in the complex.
Yeah.
Because I figured at one time that was weird myself. Because that is weird. You're literally following my kids around, and my kids are now afraid to go outside and play because you're following them with the camera. Because it was in the bylaws, any kids below the age of 12 can't be outside unaccounted with their parent.
Right.
So these people thought, oh, we're going to go and get all the young kids that are outside playing with their parents on video. Can you imagine that? Like, what is the freaking world we live in? That was like 6-7 years ago. So I had something happen to me. Now I can't go outside without a camera on myself because I've had the cops called on me because people think I pulled a gun on them.
Right.
Right? So how am I supposed to defend that?
Yeah.
Best thing to do is have a camera on you. You can't lie.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not even going to talk. All I have to do is show whoever wants to know what happened. And I show them the video, and they give me back the tape, and I just walk away because I don't do anything illegal. I'm past that point in my life. I'm raising young adults now that need to know what a proper example is.
Yeah.
Right? So,
they don't know the circumstances surrounding why you walk around and that you walk around with the camera all the time.
Yeah, well, I told the guy today why I do it, right? Oh, I told the guy today why I do it.
Yeah.
Right? Because people like to accuse people of doing things they're not. And like I said, I can't afford a lawyer. I asked the gentleman today, can you afford a lawyer? He said, yes. I said, well, I can't. See, so me walking around with this on my chest kind of prevents me from needing one. Because all I got to do is hit replay. If you'd like me to, sir, I'll show you my walk from my house to this bench or to this side of the road. And you'll see that I didn't say anything or interact with the kids whatsoever. Right? Like, yeah, like, it was totally uncalled for.
Yeah.
Totally uncalled for.
Well, I think, at the end of the day, I think that people are just not...
They're on edge.
...all the time, so when they see somebody with a camera walking by their children, you would think the same thing, right? I mean...
No, honestly, I wouldn't.
Years ago.
Obviously, I wouldn't. That person 6 or 7 years ago, I just got into a confrontation with somebody in my complex. The guy tried to run me over. I called the cops. Cops did nothing to me. Nothing for me. They wanted to put in some injunction with me and this gentleman. Really weird. Instead of a no contact order, he wanted to say something like an injunction. We'll put it in, whatever. Right? So my kid wanted to go back to the park after the cops left, so I went down to the park with my kid. This guy lives right next to the park. He had 2 people in his driveway that he was talking to. These 2 people that he's talking to that I just had a conversation with. I just had the cops called on this gentleman. And now he's talking to 2 people, and these 2 people are taking pictures of me and my kid in the park. You look up that under the Criminal Code of Canada, it's called criminal harassment. So I decided I'm going to call the cops back because this guy's now harassing me. He's getting his friends to take pictures of me. I'm afraid of my life and my kid's safety. Why are these people taking pictures of me? I just called the cops on this guy. Right? 1 plus 1 is 2, as far as I'm concerned. So the cops came back and said, there's nothing we can do about that, sir. Freedom of the press. Freedom of expression. So you're just telling me that these people are worried. Well, whatever. Just tell them it's freedom of the press and freedom of expression. It's our Canadian Charter of Rights to do so. Right? Like, just educate them. Next time you see somebody with a camera, don't call us until they point the camera at you and say, I am filming you. Because for you to say otherwise is an assumption, and I'll drag you through the court of law, and I'll slap a lawsuit on them so quick that they won't even know the size of it. Because it's my right to do what I'm doing, and it's their right. It's their right to. I know you're not saying anything about that. It's their right to be educated as well. Right?
I'm not calling you today to tell you that, I'm not saying calling you to, I just called you to kind of get your side of the story.
Yep.
Because we did get a report. And so I'm not saying that you're allowed to carry a camera. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I know.
You must do what you have to say, because I know there was a confrontation between you and a neighbor.
Yeah, well, it was sort of a confrontation. He wanted to come over and try to fight me, I guess. I don't know what he was huffing and puffing about. Right.
Okay, well, I have nothing else for you. Do you have any questions for me?
Can I get a file number?
Ooh, betcha. File number is going to be 2020.
Yep.
Dash
Perfect. Right on. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. Thanks.
Goodbye.
Bye.